So let's have a look how we make the base of the keepsake range. Okay, you'll see here these are the dies. You'll see that you've got 5 different possibility of sizes. So how big do you want your book, how small do you want your pages, and vice versa. Now these dies, what you'll see is you get sets. So there is a set of dies. So the inside edge is going to give you your mat and layer. The outside edge is going to give you your page, your book cover, etc., because there is no cut edge here. Now what that actually does, if I move that out of the way, you'll be able to see on my orange pieces of paper, I've already cut them. And can you see how they don't come out of the page? They actually stay in there. So you do have to do a little bit of cutting. It's so easy. So I'm going to cut down to that little lip, and I'm going to do that on all of them. So just come down and you can see how easy that is. So I've got 2 there, and we're going to do these 2 as well. So all the way down there, and now we have got the beginning of our book or our book pages. So my book, so we can have a nice bright contrast, is going to have green cover and orange pages. Okay, now your cover is made exactly the same as your pages within this book. So let's do the cover first of all. You can see that they're both cut out and they've already got in there their score lines. So we just bend those over. So that then is going to be the front and the back of our book. Now how do we do the spine? I simply take the next size down. So let's find the die, not that one, Jodie. The next size down, I cut it out and I chop those side panels away, just from that corner to that corner, and that is going to give me the back of my book. So let's take some adhesive, and we're going to stick that onto the back of that one. We're going to take the next one, put the adhesive in there, and we're going to stick it onto there. So you're bringing it parallel to the edge of that score line. So you can see now that you've got your spine on there, you've got the front and your back of your book. But to make it as pretty on the inside, we cut a secondary one of that to place into there. So let's open that back up. So take it all the way to the very edge, because you want it encapsulating so that it looks like it's one continuous piece of paper. So that is going to go into there. And then of course you want your sides to be just as nice. So we've cut those as well. Now when you're putting these down, make sure that you've got the professional edges all together, because you want the professional edge on the outside as well as on the inside. And what I mean by that, they feel like braille. So if you run your finger underneath and it feels like braille, that's where you're going to stick it down. Okay, so that is going to go over the top. Now this little line here is on the inside. Now because we've gone parallel to parallel, we just have to trim that just a tad. So what I do is I actually just chop off the dots, because then that is going to fit absolutely perfectly on its friend. So take it in, level it up and stick it down. Remember the tip about the ruler. If you just put pegs on there, you'll tend to wave your card. Put 2 rulers over the top and peg onto the top of the rulers, and that will stop the pegs from indenting your card. So turn it round, trim that one down. So I'm literally just chopping the dots off, remember. Take that adhesive right to the very edges, and then stick that one down. So now you have got an absolutely solid, let me just hold that a little bit longer, book. Okay, so for everybody in the UK, to make your cover, the best weight is to use a 300 GSM for your covers. 240 is fine because you're double aspecting them, so you're going to have 480 in your cover. Okay, for everybody in the US, your weights, your best weights, I've got it on a piece of paper here, your best weights are going to be 110 pounds. Okay, your 90 is fine because then you can double it up and make it into 180. Okay, but yeah, the heavier you can go on your spines is best. So that's the beginning of your book. Now this is where this book set differs from the next, because this one, when we first launched this, we didn't have the spine. Now you can, if you want, put the spine in there exactly the same as we make the other book in the collection, but this was never designed to have the spine. Okay, so the way that we made these pages up was so easy. So you need 4 of the shapes that look like that. They've still got the tabs on the top. Okay, now I bring in my guillotine, and this is where I use my guillotine a little bit differently. So you know your guillotine's got measurements on the top here. It goes, the closest one is 2 centimeters and 1 centimeter. I ignore those measurements and I actually use the metalwork as my guideline. It's about 1 centimeter, okay, it's half an inch, but I use that there as my area to cut on. So I bring my page in and I bring my score line just to the very edge of that metalwork. I'm not measuring, I'm literally using the metalwork as the guideline and cutting it off. And I'm going to do that on 2 of them. Yeah? Now the other 2, I'm actually going to chop it off right up to those very beautiful little dots. So do that on both of them. Okay, so now all you're going to do is you're going to take your wet adhesive. This is now a glue tab. So you're going to put your glue on and you're going to place that one straight over its friend up to its little score line. Okay, turn it over, and of course you want the inside to be just as pretty, and we're going to place these back over the top. Now remember, do you want a top loading pocket, a side loading pocket, or do you want a complete page? That is entirely up to you. If you want a top loading, then you don't add the adhesive to the top, and the same goes for the side. So add the adhesive onto there, and we're going to place that one over here. Now the best weight to use for your pages is slightly lighter, so maybe a 240 GSM for these, or a £90 for the States. Okay, so let's just bring all that into there, and that there is a double page, because all you're going to do then is you're going to bend this up, and can you see you don't need the spine, because this here is now your glue spine. So I'm just going to put that down a minute and just wait for that adhesive to dry a little bit. I've already got some made up, look. So all these now are really good quality because they're doubled up. So taking our book, I have some little strips, and these are cut from that metal line on the guillotine, so they're the same width as that. And we're going to use those as spacers. Okay, so my first one, tell you what, for speed, let's just put the high tack on for speed, because otherwise things are going to pop and then we'll be waiting for them to dry. So let's just put some high tack on those little pages, and then we're going to be cooking. So here we go. On all those spines, last one there, and now let's put these into the book. So making sure your book is opening in the right direction. Okay, we're then going to take the first one, and the first one I'm going to take parallel to the front cover. So what I do is I bring the page forward, and I'm going to take that right up to the crease, stick it in, and you can see now that we've got our first page in there. Fold it over, put my spacer bar in. Now your spacer bar, you can make those as big or as small as you want, depending on how many embellishments you're going to put on your pages, okay? Fold it forward, and then bring it in to your spacer, push it down, take your spacer out, you've got your next page. And this is how we build up the pages in this book. It is so simple, you can't go wrong, you really, really can't. So up to your spacer, take the spacer out, and just work now all the way through to the back. I mean, you could be able to put some more pages in this if you want, but here we go. You have now got your beautiful memory book with all your spaces in there, so you can get loads of flips and flaps and photographs in there. But you can see how that now is really a decent piece of kit. It does actually feel like a shop bought item because it's so thick. So join me on YouTube for loads more inspiration. For more tutorials and inspiration and those mojo kicks, go on and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll find loads more.